Hello, welcome. This is Blockchain Bloom, the blockchain educator. I'm Attila Pinkin, and today I'm going to talk about that we have S&P 500, we have Nasdaq on new all-time highs. This is a crazy market right now, guys, because we have now the war situation, we have uncertainty, inflation is going up, but the stock market has all-time high. Is this actually a bull trap? We're going to talk about that as well. Then we have the new PPI data coming out this week, which is better than expected, but clearly shows inflation. Then let's check the inflows outflows into Bitcoin spot ETFs. Also that we're going to have the new Fed chair in May, so pretty soon, to be honest with you. Also the chances for rate cut in this year. Then we have a professor saying that Bitcoin is running by CIA operation. What is his point? I'm going to show you. Then Clarity Act is getting closer to the final version and looking good so far, to be honest with you. Then we have Ledger hardware wallet actually coming out with this year's roadmap, which will kind of go into agent identity, AI agent policy, and all these kind of things. I'm going to show it. By the way, we have a fake Ledger app in the App Store and many other things in today's video. So don't forget, every single day I'm bringing you the freshest cryptocurrency and blockchain news here on Blockchain Bloom to keep you up to date. From Monday to Sunday, you're getting the short videos, basically the essence of the news in less than 60 seconds. And once a week, you're having this longer video like this one, when we're getting deeper into the market and checking where we are really now. So if you would like to stay up to date, very simple, just subscribe to this YouTube channel. And now let's start it. Okay, so first here you can see Bitcoin is actually at 73,895 US dollar. That is basically 0.15 down in 24 hours, but almost 4.5% up in a week. Ethereum 2,309 US dollar, almost 1% down in 24 hours. The winner now it's Rave. Rave had a crazy week, to be honest with you. In the week, look how much it went up. Then in the last couple of hours, so it's crazy movement. The second place is Mamecore today, 25%, and Edge we got 14%. And when we're looking at here the Bitcoin candlestick chart, we can see here that really we are around this 74,000-ish level, and that's an important one because if we're looking at here the weekly, we can clearly see that this was the lowest point last year in 2025. So it's a very important resistance. And as you can see now, the week is just under it. So it's not breaking it. On the daily, we can see some movements. And when you're looking at this, this could look like a potential bear flag, which could be that this is just a fake out. And then, maybe further dump can come, but I'm going to talk about that as well, because let's move on to the S&P 500, which is right now on its all-time high. So look at this chart. This is the S&P 500, and as you can see it went to its all-time high yesterday on the 15th of April. Today it even went further. As you can see, now it's coming back a little bit. And what's interesting, we talked about it, here when this cross happened, when the 50-day moving average crossed the 100-day moving average from above, historically what it does. And, if you now look back here on the daily chart, look, here it happened. What happened then? Actually, after the cross, we had an increase, and then we had a further massive dump. That was when? Let's check it. It was back in 2025, right? In March. So kind of a year ago. Then when we're looking at further here, look, again, same situation. The cross is happening. This is back in 2003. What? 23. No. So 23. And, we go up and then a bigger dump is happening. So this pattern is interesting. And it kind of looks like, I obviously do not know the future. That's very, very important. But it's kind of look like how Bitcoin used to look like. Bitcoin here, had its all-time high in August, when it went around 124,000-ish. And then a little bit later, in October, went all the way up to 126 US dollar, a tiny little bit, and then it came down. Question, can this happen to S&P 500 as well? Look at Nasdaq. Nasdaq is just the same. We just went slightly above it, and let's see how this can continue. So I'm rather being now careful, because when we're looking around right now, the war situation, is still on. We do not see any, agreement on a long ceasefire, just this short bits. Then we have the blockade also by the U.S. at Strait of Hormuz, and we have still the uncertainty in the market. We have, look at a couple of things here. This was the history now, what's happening recently. So basically, when the war started, S&P dumped, and now really recovering in 2 weeks, kind of 10%. So that was actually crazy. But when you're looking at this, we have, the PPI. PPI numbers are actually better than the forecast said. Turned out to be 4% instead of 4.6. So that looks a pretty good one. But when we're looking at historically, look back month, it's much higher than in the previous month, and it's the highest since 2020. So in 3 years, basically. So that shows a clear increase in inflation according to PPI, even if it's better than the forecast. So that is going up. Recently, CPI went up like a full percent, turned up by the 3.4, which came out this month, about last month. Also, this is a mixed picture about inflows, outflows. Some inflows, some outflows, and we're looking at the Bitcoin spot ETFs. We're going to have the next Fed chair coming in next month, in May already. And the biggest chance is that Kevin Warsh is going to be nominated by Donald Trump. But we're going to see it. And are we going to see some rate cuts? Because this is what they're kind of promising, but how? Now when we're looking at the possibilities, now we're going to have on 29th of April, the next FOMC meeting. The chance is kind of zero for rate cut. But actually this trend continues for June meeting, July meeting, September meeting, October meeting, December meeting. So the chances for rate cuts right now almost zero for this year. Will this change? It could change. These charts can change very, very fast, but this is how we see it right now. So overall, I would say we should be careful with this hype around the S&P 500 and Nasdaq, how long it can go, and that we're going to see it. Right. Okay, let's move on. Now we have this Chinese professor, and this is going viral, saying that, blockchain, Bitcoin, the CIA is basically behind it. Listen to this. Interesting.
So the moment people recognize that this is a CIA operation, people won't put their money into blockchain. People won't put their money into Bitcoin. They'll be like, why would I do that? You have to ask yourself this question. Where are the blockchain servers located? Right? Because I imagine if you're able to control the hardware, you can also control the software. I don't care what they tell me about open source and all that. I want to know where the databases are, where the servers are, physically.
See, that's very interesting because he's a well-known professor talking about that. But always, I start to think that these kind of clever people, it kind of looks like they do not understand what's the point behind Bitcoin. That the whole thing is decentralized. It's not running on servers. There are couple of 10,000 nodes running the Bitcoin software. So basically, this is how it works. And it doesn't matter who's running Bitcoin. It's safe, as it's proven in the last 17 years. It doesn't need a CEO. It doesn't. It's not a centralized system. That's the whole point. It's a decentralized system. And interesting. I didn't get it. But anyway, you can let me know if you have a clue why this professor is thinking this way. But for me, it looks like he's missing the point of Bitcoin. Okay, then now we have negotiations on Clarity Act have narrowed to 2-3 unresolved issues. So with the Senate staffer describing that the draft as very close. So maybe it's going to happen this year. Now we're getting closer. Sometimes, 2 times it was Coinbase. It just pushed it back. Will it happen this time? Who knows? But now they're saying it's getting closer and closer. So might happening. Okay, this is the roadmap for Ledger. Ledger is the hardware wallet. And really, it looks like they're working on how this whole thing can work with AI agent with a Ledger proof and security. As you can see, we have the device management kit, which is this what we have today. Then in Q2, the agent identity is coming, agent intents, agent policies, and all these kind of things. So it looks like Ledger is working on this, and that would be actually interesting because definitely AI agent is going to do a lot in the future, and it would be nice if it's happening securely. By the way, talking about Ledger, we have a fake Ledger Live app, which is, by the way, Ledger Wallet now, but in the App Store. And, there are, and that was actually 2 days ago, right? 50 plus victims and 9.5 million was drained from these wallets. So be always very careful. When you download the Ledger app, don't just go to App Store and search for it because these happened in the past as well and probably is going to happen in the future. So always go on the official Ledger website and go from there. That's probably the safest. Okay, and finally, talking about wallets, we have stablecoin giant Tether launching a wallet for USDT, Bitcoin, and gold-backed tokens. And it's also self-custodial digital wallet. So, yeah, there are so many kind of wallet out there, but it would be very, very important that you choose the one which gives you the most protection. Pick the one you really like, but be careful with keeping your assets on centralized exchanges. Be careful to keep things on online wallets. So the safest when it gets is hardware wallet, but find the one which actually really suits you. Okay, guys. Pretty much that's it for today. And don't forget, every single day, I'm bringing you the freshest cryptocurrency and blockchain news here on Blockchain Bloom to keep you up to date. So if that's important for you, simply just subscribe to this YouTube channel. As from Monday to Sunday, you're getting every day, fresh short videos to keep you up to date. The essence of the news, less than 60 seconds. And also, you're going to have this weekly videos, what this is right now. So if you like this, hit the like button. See you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.